Good morning. My name is John Farrell from JP Morgan Chase, and I'm responsible for human resources. Thank you for the invitation to be part of your dialogue. These are challenging times for the church and its mission, and Jeff and all the organizers of this roundtable should be commended for their willingness to explore a variety of views, see what can be learned from the secular and nonprofit world, and hopefully learn from each other in the process. It's clear that the church is going through a tremendous time of change. As a representative of one of the largest corporations in the world, we've been dealing with change for what seems like an eternity now. It's change of all flavors, new technology, a more global workplace, new demands from our customers, changing interests and needs on the part of our own employees, a transformation in our products, and even a changing marketplace. In my industry, the financial services industry, we've undergone tremendous realignment and consolidation. At JP Morgan Chase, we've experienced 3 major mergers in less than 10 years and have been faced with the task, not unlike that faced today by church leaders, to forge a new organization with a new culture and a new set of values and a new mission, one that takes the best from the old organizations while also representing a fresh, new direction. So in thinking about my experiences through so much corporate change and supporting our people through that change, I thought about our people agenda and the programs we offer our people so that we can deal with this change and contribute at their highest potential. As a major employer, we offer a wealth of programs that a company who wants to attract the best should offer. Employee training, on-site backup childcare, help with paying college tuition if an employee wants to go back to school. The list is long, and many large employers offer a similar lineup, although I believe I can humbly say that few offer the range of programs that we do at JP Morgan Chase. But I thought I'd spend my time with you talking about employee performance and compensation. After all, if the goal of an organization is to attract the very best talent, allow them to grow and develop, ensure that they're contributing at their highest potential, both for their own personal growth, but also for the clients we service, motivate them to do even more, then the organization needs to have the programs in place to ensure employees know what specifically is expected of them, how they're doing against those objectives, how to improve if need be, and that their rewards, their pay if you will, is fairly and objectively assessed against all this. There's no better way to successfully recruit and retain the best talent than a strong performance-based compensation and rewards program. How do you start? Clearly there are mechanical things you need to do. Benchmark yourself against the industry and your competitors. Look at the marketplace. Study and compare. That's somewhat easy. I would argue that you actually need to start with the organization's leadership team. Ask questions like, what's the organization's values and mission? What's the kind of organization you want to be? And what are you asking of your employees? At JP Morgan Chase, one of the cornerstones of our compensation philosophy is to be values-oriented. That is, that how employees are motivated and rewarded is guided by and supportive of our values: teamwork, integrity, quality, and so on. Every organization has its own set of principles and values. My point is that employees need to know that these values not only drive their behaviors, but will also drive how they're measured and assessed. Any organization that does not do this runs the risk of not being seen as applying the rules fairly and consistently, which can be a demotivator. So a successful organization starts with a set of values and a mission and a set of principles and ensures that the reward systems support that. Employees also need to know specifically what's expected of them, which means a disciplined performance management system that, again, is tied to the employee's compensation. So that means establishing a process for every single employee where they set their objectives, put together a development and career plan, set several times during the year when they have honest conversations with their managers to see how they're doing, where they receive ongoing coaching and feedback, where they're recognized and rewarded accordingly. Many organizations say they do this, but I would argue few do it well. Why not? It takes time. I'm sure all of you would agree that there are not enough hours in the day to tackle the spiritual, business, and personal things you'd like to accomplish. Managers' time is extremely tight, and to do performance management well takes time and discipline. It means taking the time to sit down with each employee to talk about what they hope to accomplish and to have that discussion in the context of business needs and client needs. It means taking the time to revisit with the employee how they're doing. It may mean taking the time to fill out forms, although all of us in HR try to make the administration of all this as easy as possible. It means having difficult conversations with employees who are not performing well. And at some point during the year, it can mean rating employees so that, again, performance is tied to rewards. Is a person a 1, a 2, a 3? What's the difference between these? What's the difference between good performance and even better performance? And how do you rate that? How do you have conversations about ratings with a person whose self-worth may be tied up in being ranked the highest possible? This is not easy, and it takes a tremendous amount of time. But I believe for an organization to be successful today, its people need to know what the rules are. What does the organization stand for? How does this get translated into performance objectives? How am I going to be measured on those objectives? How are you going to help me develop to be the very best I can be? How are you going to reward and promote me for performing my best? I can honestly tell you that the senior team at JP Morgan Chase has spent many hours working through our mission and our principles, as well as much time talking about people issues like performance, our compensation philosophy, our talent pipeline, our diversity objectives. It's time well spent. So if I can share with you a learning point for myself as well as my organization, it's that a critical part of recruiting, hiring, and motivating people is having a strong performance-based culture where objectives are clearly laid out, people assessed and measured accordingly, where the rules are transparent and tied back to the organization's mission, and where people are fairly, accurately, and consistently rewarded when they do their very best. Through 3 major mergers over the past 10 years, I can honestly say that, major change and disruptions aside, our people have consistently risen to the task and outperformed even my own expectations. And I like to think that's because of the strong culture we've built and with the knowledge that their contributions are noticed, appreciated, and rewarded. Thank you again for allowing me to share my experiences, and I wish you all well with your task at hand.